About it now, California Congressman Representative Adam Schiff. He joins us now. Thank you for being here, sir. I appreciate it.
You bet.
You're a ranking member of the House Intelligence Committee. What can you tell us about why it took the government so long to realize this information had been stolen? I mean, 4 months.
Well, it's a real failure, Poppy. Not only did we not prevent this attack from taking place in the first place, but it took us quite a while to even learn about the breach. OPM is utilizing new software defenses to try to prevent these attacks and determine when they have taken place, but that wasn't fully implemented and not in time. And I'm not sure that that was even adequate to begin with. So it's a big problem. It's a huge data breach. And if the U.S. government can't protect itself, I'm sure a lot of the private sector thinks what hope is there for their defenses.
Well, what's interesting, you bring that up, we're actually seeing the private sector perhaps doing more. I mean, the big corporations, big banks like JP Chase have literally thrown thousands of employees and millions of dollars into cybersecurity after the big hacks we've seen in the last year. I wonder if you think the U.S. government isn't doing enough on that front, and that is why things like this happen.
We're certainly spending a fortune on our cyber defenses, but I think one of the key challenges here is this is a very asymmetric battlefield where it's a lot easier and more cost-effective to be on the attack than it is on the defense. Because after all, you only need one open door, one vulnerability, and your system is compromised. So it's hard. I don't want to overstate the difficulty, but nonetheless, we've spent billions of dollars trying to address this problem, and still with attacks on OPM, on the White House, on the State Department, on the IRS, plainly we're not doing enough. We're not doing it smart enough to prevent these kind of attacks.
So that's what I'm wondering, if it's not about money. I mean, you said it, we're spending billions and billions of federal dollars on it. If it's not about money, what is it about? How do you get in front of it?
Well, you know, part of it is having the right technological defense. A lot of it is having the right training for workers to eliminate some of these vulnerabilities. And then a big yet missing piece, I believe, is not having an adequate deterrent. This is basically risk-free kind of warfare, risk-free kind of theft. And so you have not only state actors, but you have sophisticated criminal actors operating overseas and with little regard for any kind of retaliation. So I do think we have some tough questions and tougher capabilities to develop so that we can not only defend against, but also deter these attacks from taking place.
You say overseas. Do you believe that this was carried out by the Chinese government?
Well, one area that I think we have gotten a lot better at, and that is attribution of attacks. So I think we're really narrowing in on who's the responsible party. At this point, I'm not permitted to comment on it, but this was a very sophisticated attack, involved a massive amount of data, and if this were simply a matter of theft for the purposes of ID fraud, we probably would have seen that information out on the black market. So it may be more sophisticated an attack than that, and this is something we're investigating.
Are those that are going down the road believing it is China misguided, sir?
You know, I wish I could comment, but I can't. But we certainly, I think, made great progress with the investigation. I can tell you as a general matter that China is a very bad actor in the cyber field, and so is Russia. They not only have state actors, but they have private groups that work in concert with the state that are responsible for all kinds of hacks and theft. So we have massive problems, massive transfer of wealth as well, going to China by the theft of American intellectual property, research and development. So on the world stage, in terms of cyber bad actors, you'd have to put China and Russia as 1 and 2 or 2 and 1.
What can people, I mean, we're talking about 4 million Americans who work for or worked for the U.S. government from 1985 on. What do they do now?
Well, those employees are going to be contacted by OPM to let them know what steps that they should take, that there will be access to a credit review and an identity theft review package that they can implement for a year or two. They'll be instructed to change their passwords and take other precautions, and what to look for in case their personal information was compromised. But if this wasn't simply about theft and it was about exploring vulnerabilities, that's going to be much harder to prepare the workforce for, because that may mean that foreign actors will have information about their personal lives. It also may mean that they can conduct further spear phishing attacks by utilizing some of this personal data against them.
Right, right. Congressman Adam Schiff, thank you very much.
Thanks, Poppy.
Well, you